Okay. So we have, as you can see, just a very few people here today, but Stan has been really busy behind the scenes. So I wanted to go ahead and get him on record, if you will, talking about his visit. And just what he knows of. Obviously, there's still a lot happening in the world with Ukraine. So we can get some of his insights and what he's hearing from the community as well. So Stan, first of all, you were able to meet Vicky and Lee in person in the Matter team and the Hand in Hand team, which is Lee's wife and volunteers, and then go to a fundraiser as well. So you want to tell us about those experiences?
Yes, yes. And first of all, thank you very much for introducing me to great people. It is one thing to meet somebody on a Zoom call and completely different to go and actually meet them in person
Yeah.
and see firsthand how people show up every day and make such a great difference. And then if you kind of zoom out and see how much of an impact it makes to the people in Ukraine, it is really touching. So I really do appreciate the opportunity. And then, yes, when I visited Matter, it then led just through the conversation to finding out about the event that Valentina arranged in Minneapolis. It was a charitable dinner in Christmas Ukrainian traditions. And my wife and I had a chance to attend. It's about 5 hours drive. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful event. And again, always also filled with purpose with people who, are guided by intention of making a difference. And it was very inspiring and great connections were made. I was able to learn more about how different organizations there in Minneapolis area function, what they do, how they do it, and we opened the discussion about how Vector potentially can step in and make their operations a little bit potentially more effective and so whatever they do, they can do more of it, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm curious too. So you were in Chicago, but of course, our friend Daria is in Ukraine. You have lots of contacts and connections there. So obviously, this is a very crazy time for many reasons. Just curious what you are hearing from people, how they're doing, what kind of help is needed, or what they're kind of, yeah, what's kind of the pulse right now.
Well, we all are hoping that the war will be over this year and actually choose the word hoping because no one really knows.
Right.
As a change of administration here steps in the US and some promises were made, I personally hope that this will take place ASAP. Some people kind of lost hope and they think this will still be going on, that the war will be going on for a very long time. Only the time will tell. We'll just try to do our best and, take one step, one day at a time. Other than that, not much has been changed. It is very tough. The fighting is still going on. People are dying. People are struggling. A lot of medical supplies are still needed because it is what it is. Supply chain in a terrible state, and there is shortage of pretty much everything. And that is ex one of the reasons why what Matter does and all of the other organizations like Chalice of Mercy, like Hand in Hand, like Standing with Ukraine, Minnesota, all those teams are working together to provide their supplies by the means that they have, because believe it or not, it does save lives. I've met people, they shared stories, they showed videos where you see how something that is about to get expired here in the US and
Right.
disposed of actually saves somebody else's life. So that being said, it remains about the same as it used to be. And we kind of, you know how they say, you hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the scenario here. We all holding our fingers crossed, but at the same time, thinking about what we can do each day. So tomorrow will be as good as it possibly be. So people in Ukraine will get as much of the supply as they need. And yeah, hopefully soon enough, we will not need to ship as much medical supplies, but say
Right.
building materials. But it's
Yeah.
all TBD at this point, and no promises can be made by anybody.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been working on the logistics side, hopefully prepping some more items to go over there. You've been talking to people who are working with other providers. Do you have any logistics updates that you can give or things that you want to note that have really caught your attention, made it easier, harder, anything like that?
Of course. The ports in the Black Sea in the south of Ukraine actually started functioning some time ago, and some of the major shipping lines started serving them. So that has been a great help. Like some people that we work with in Ukraine, we were able to offer them solutions that were more cost effective if we should ship directly to the south of Ukraine. So that was a good help. The situation on the border with Poland remains somewhat challenging. But overall, I would say it is improving somewhat because some laws and regulations have been changing. But as time passes by, we kind of understand how things work. And even though it remains not very easy, we kind of understand the rules of the game a little bit more. And this is really one of those we're all in this together. Because some
Right.
people on the Ukrainian side don't really know exactly how, say, forms have to be filled out. Same thing on the Polish end, us in the US, we're all in the same boat. But as we kind of keep making mistakes, we learn from them, and going forward, it becomes easier and easier. You still have to flip the coin every once in a while on waiting times, but I would say at least it does not get worse. So
Yeah.
slowly but sure, we're moving in the right direction, and it becomes, I'd say, easier and a little bit easier to predict how quickly whatever we ship will actually end up in Ukraine and people can count on it.
Right, absolutely. And I know there is, Lee messaged me this morning and said he's in Washington, D.C. for a Ukraine week. So I look forward to hearing and having him come back and tell us all more about that. I know Yarrow is busy working with FEMA right now. So he's always having to catch recordings instead of show up with us live. Vicky and her team at Matter, of course, always up to their ears and doing good and helping in other things. So just as we wrap up our little mini interview, I want to go back real quick to something you mentioned earlier. So where it's February 4th right now, but I feel like the holidays are still fresh. I'm still wishing people Happy New Year. You mentioned at the Chalice of Mercy thing that it was a very Ukrainian holiday Christmas event. And so you grew up in Ukraine, you've lived in the US for a long time, but I want to kind of end with you talking about what are some of the it must have felt really good. It must have felt very nostalgic to be there. And so I want to hear a little bit more about that experience, what it brought up for you, and yeah, what made you just very proud of your Ukrainian roots to be in that room.
Hmm. The first thing that popped in my head is the saying, don't give up on people the older we've got. And this was really an experience because, sometimes we're tired and sometimes we're going through some tough times. But we went there to attend the event. I knew only few people. We walked into the room and we really felt like home. And yes, maybe it was contributed by the fact that a lot of people wore Vyshyvankas, the national
Mhm.
embroidered shorts. But then you just kind of felt that even though you don't know these folks, we can work it all out in the long run. We just need to st have hope, have faith, and do our best each day, and everything will work out. Like we sometimes can have disagreements, but then it's still possible you walk in a room with people you don't know and you feel related, and you have this feeling that we just need to sit down around the table and get to working. But I mean, it was easy, I guess, because it was just so well organized. The music, the choir, the food, everybody who was serving during the event, so welcoming. Incredible, incredible experience. We're really looking forward to the next year, hopefully to get a chance to visit it again.
Awesome. Well, on that note, something you said I want to end with, which was sit down around the table and get to work. So we're all going to get back to work now. And thanks so much, everybody who couldn't be here but had registered. We missed you. We look forward to catching up behind the scenes, and we'll see everybody in a couple of months. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Christy.